Hello, friends. This is John Klein III of episode 76 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. And today we're going to review Realm of X issue 3. So let's get to it. And once again, thank you to Francisco for providing the theme song to the podcast. Appreciate it. And you. And so this came out just last week. If you're listening on All Hallows Eve 2023. And so, I guess for posterity, I could not find a pair of overalls, so I'm gonna try to be this lame version of Luigi. I'm already debating on not dressing up as, but I had to buy me a pair of overalls and a proper, like, Luigi shade of green shirt. Then Walker Dennis is gonna be Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's, and my wife's gonna be like an 80s roller skater gal. So it should be a pretty fun day. So this is Realm of X number 3, written by Torrin Graubeck. Artist is Bruno Oliveira. Color artist is Rain Barreto. Letterer VC Clayton Cowles. Design Tom Muir and Jay Bowen design. Oh, I already said that. Let's see here. In production, VC's Clayton Cowles again, which I don't know why they don't just say letterer slash production. Editor Lauren Amero, senior editor Jordan D. White, and editor-in-chief C.B. Sapolsky, which I forget who Tom Breville is replacing. It'll probably be Jordan D. White, I imagine, senior editor. Yeah, because he's not going to be editor-in-chief. And just to get out of the way, the art style for this issue is completely different from the previous 2 issues. So hopefully they're letting Bruno Oliveira do the 4th issue, as otherwise the trade's going to look completely bonkers. But I guess that's on someone else to worry about. But I sort of like it. Like, I sort of wish this fantasy title had this more fantasy lighthearted aspect to it. And there's a way he draws eyes that I really dig. Uh, But okay, let's get to the story. Of all the ways one can welcome intruders to one's land, Saturnine chooses violence. Her armies in wait for beyond the 10 realms, but such details do not hold her back. As the fabric of universe tears, as her soldiers travel through dimensions and time, the world screams. The sound is hollow and deep. It is the thrill of despair, of trees weeping, of stones shattering, of the winds gasping for air. The sound reaches far. So Saturnine is looking towards where her enemies are coming from. And then her enemies, of course, are Tythoid Mary, Danny Moonstar, Marrow, and Dust. And they're all hearing like this battle siren, and they're holding their ears. Far in the distance, they see the ships coming through the tear in the sky. But then reality fights back. And so, yeah, in this fantasy Asgardian uh, environment, all of a sudden these like inky looking dudes are coming through, and they're coming through broken, but then they're just mending their bodies right back. And the power it takes to keep the rip open is too much, even for Saturnine. But she did not pick Vanaheim for its beauty. Deep in the citadel, there is enough power to rent time and space itself. So one of the goons, who like is twice her height, or maybe just half her height plus half. There's got to be a better way to describe that, right? Is telling her that. So they got this one group of people in, but they need more, and clearly it wasn't a smooth transition. If she could, but to get to it. And so she really needs that power source, and she needs it now. It was always a long shot. They went there to find Curse, to find a way home. So our team of four is now inside the Citadel, and now they're being attacked by the new goons. Maybe even find a way to peace. And Typhoid Mori gets hit with a Thwack, and so now she is ready to fight everybody. But it was always a long shot. Violence of the Western Front. Oh, I don't know. The title, I guess, is Rebel of X3 First Blood Spilled. But then over here, there's a Violence of the Western Front, so I don't know if that's going to be the name of the trade or just the intro for the recap. Our characters is Mirage, Magik, Typhoid Mary, Dust, Marrow, Curse, and Saturnine for a list of 7. After the harrowing events of the Hellfire Gala that left mutant scattered across the universe, Magik, Mirage, Typhoid Mary, Marrow, Dust, and Curse found themselves stranded in Vanaheim and caught up in an ancient Vanir prophecy upon which the fate of the entire realm hangs in the balance. And worse yet, Curse, who seems to be a center of this prophecy, is missing. Saturnine has successfully isolated Curse and endeared herself to the young trickster, all with the goal of keeping Curse to use her powers to unlock a well of ancient Vanir power source to use for her own nefarious goals of conquest. Meanwhile, Mirage, Dust, and Marrow and Typhoid Mary and the warriors of House Mut have been clashing more violently with Saturnine's forces as the day of the prophecy looms ever closer. With the mounting violence, their search for the missing Curse has grown more dire, and a fit of desperation, Magik, though powerless, has made the brash decision to branch off on her own and head straight into the last place they haven't looked, the Emberstone Citadel. Mirage uses her powers to search for the fears of their enemy. They do not have a word for it in their language. The fearful among them do not survive their training. The only desires she can see in them are the deaths of their enemies, and that is not something the mutants intend to grant them. Dust breaks their arrows before they find their targets. Mary plays with the ones that get through. Marrow lets her anger out, but the sky is dark with the shadows of their enemies. And then they see her. Like Saturnine, the witch watches them run. She fills them as they move through the invisible walls surrounding her domain. Saturnine's magic tears through the storm, splitting into pieces. She knows that power lies in the congregation, and deep inside, Sora hurts. So she got hit with something while in her dust form. When Trabin was but a boy, the Sibyl who performed his Verus gave him the Monkir First Blood. As a young soldier, he earned his name time and time again. As we see, those goons are now fighting the Asgardians. Always at the front line with his men, always first in battle. The name followed him through the years, proudly spoken by those who served under him. But he always knew, he had always known what it meant. First blood. And he just loses his eyes, or eye, with a shunk. The beginning of the war, which now that I said out loud, I don't like the feeling of that arrow, or what it's doing. The beginning of the ending. So one guy's holding Trabin as he's unconscious. Typhoid Mary is now ready for another run of fights. Dust is being cradled by Danny. The Tale of Vanaheim, annotated by Frieder Frostborn, current head librarian at the Library of the Prophecy. In the fourth age of Vanaheim, behold the coming storm, a battle fierce and deadly where destinies were transformed. Between the lights, pure radiance and shadow that enroach four strangers. And then someone underlined that and then wrote fire, sand, fear, and bone. This confirms previous prophecies. More magical powers shall arise, destiny they'll approach. One of fire, fierce and bold, a burning heart untamed, gilding flames of passion in their name, a love reclaim, which is Typhoid Mary. One of sand, grounded deep, wisdom in her core. Through the shifting sands of fate, they'll fight and they'll explore. One of fear, with courage clear, shall face the darkest night, conquering dread with valor, as stars embrace their light, which is also underlined. And someone wrote poetic drivel, standing, of course. One of bone, with ancient grace, shall bridge the realms of ode, and bones and spirits whispers fully fury shall unfold. Excuse me. But lo, a fifth stranger, which is underlined, someone wrote, this is once again that the hidden powers of person. In shadows yet unknown, their power hidden to everyone but the throne. References to the witch. From the great unknown and endless armies unchained, they march to rend the realm for those who wish to reign. Born of shadows deep, they emerge from the abyss, infinite in number. This threat we can't dismiss. To drain the realm of life, to seize its very core. In their relentless march, dark days we can't ignore. Beneath the depths of mind, a choice, which someone underlined. Will this person, the fifth stranger, make a choice? Concealed from view, shall shape the realm's destiny, the old and new to construe. The balance of this choice, the world shall be remade. What lies beyond we cannot know, the future hides in shade. House of Mut, the vanguard mourn their leader. Soldiers' grief surrounds them. It is quiet and hard. And Mero's checking with dust. Tears surface by the weight of war, or suffocated by the weight of war. The forest seems to grieve with them. I don't know, I sort of dig this art. Like, it's very cartoony, but I feel like if this was the art the entire time, people would be like, well, sure, this is what we have. I don't know, I just feel bad. Hopefully, no one's giving him a hard time online. I saw he has an Instagram page and followed him, and I guess that's as far as I took it. Danny's voice pierces through the silence of the trees, loud enough to reach the gods. She's trying to get Sif's attention, Lady Sif's, but if they can hear her, they do not answer. In this pivotal hour, I have entrusted the role of second in command to Captain Vonos, who I want to say is the guy Typhoid Mary was training with, and maybe having some romantic tension. A sense of peace envelops me, conviction that this choice is the correct one. I have told him all he needs to know. The rest I take to my grave. Preparations for the impending war proceed, apace with one glaring exception, the scarcity of rations. Not since the great flood of the Second Age have Vanaheim's fertile fields yielded so merrily. The harvest withers beneath the soil. The once rich earth has grown desolate, as if plagued by some malignant disease. Autumn is already here. We march under trees of yellows and reds. It'd be beautiful if it were not so wrong. The roots rot. The ground is barren. I bear the weight of 200,000 souls on my command. Yet I cannot feed them. The battle looms on the horizon, and I stand already disadvantaged. We cannot use our sorcerers. We cannot trust the soil. It feels like war has already begun. Tybin, Commander Tabin at the House of Mut, Vanaheim. And so we catch up with Saturnine, who is talking to the one who wrote all these prophecies, who is hanging upside down, but maybe on purpose. I don't get the sense that she's in danger. Emberstone Citadel, main entrance at the same time. Okay, here we go. The Citadel is teeming with life. In between the recruits for Saturn Nine's army and prisoners for her dungeon, no one pays Magik any mind. So there's a guard telling people, like, just keep moving forward. Any weapons, spells, wands, enchantments, or magical artifacts will be taken, and you will be considered an enemy. There's a wanted poster of four of the four gals. Magik is not a threat. And some lady points to I must be Typhoid Mare and goes like, I heard that one breathes fire. Only when she's angry. Welcome to. Oh yeah, and so the guard's telling her that she can seek asylum. You just have to swear an alliance to the allegiance to the queen, and do not. And then someone is carrying a weapon and gets like teleported straight to the gallows. Oh, it's not even a weapon, it's an amulet, but it must have some magical uh, feelings to it. He gets dropped in front of Magik, who just has to like stand there and process the information. Magik cannot be sure her powers are undetectable as well as inaccessible. Part of her wants the gate to see something in her, tease out her old self since she seems unable to do so on her own, but it finds nothing. She has come too far to stop now. Recruit or vendor? The screams of torture blend with the sound of something else. Me? Recruit. Somewhere above them there is laughter. Curse? Magic follows the sound of joy. And you see that Curse is shooting a bunch of clay pigeons with a bow and arrow, or I guess the arrows flung from a bow. And Actually, I guess it's a crossbow. And Ileana works her way up to where she is on the balcony. Curse! It's a nice hamster with a handsome jacket and bow tie is encouraging Lady Curse. Curse! Oh, thank the gods. Magic? What are you doing here? I came for you, of course. Oh, took you long enough. Magic faces your greatest challenge yet, talking sense to a teenager. You left me. We looked for you day and night. We looked everywhere. I've been here all along. The White Witch, she's been keeping us out. The entire realm is cut off from the rest of the universe. We've been trying to get to you, but I'm without my mutant powers, and I think she's robbing Vanaheim of mythical powers too. I can't use my magics. You have to believe me. She's been keeping us from you. Then why are you here now? I managed to sneak through the gate. Curse, you must see that she's not a good person. They're torturing people as entertainment down here. They're torturing traitors. You can tell a lot about someone from how they treat their prisoners. Cool, that's your opinion. Well, thanks for coming. See you around. Please come back with me. See the others. They're all waiting for you. But know that whatever they've done for whatever you do, you can always come home to us. We're your family. You can come home anytime you want. Always. Whatever, I'm late for dinner. It just takes off. And you can really tell, like, Ileana, uh, on one knee is like the height of Curse, which I feel like Curse is supposed to be a teenager, but, drawn much younger here. And then Saturn 9 comes out, crosses paths with Curse, gets a quick update. Ileana now knows that it's Saturn 9. She's like, oh hell, Saturn 9. Magic. Ah, as Magic's now like stuck in midair. I did not know you were here. My little birds told me about the others weeks ago, the four. But not you. I wish I had known. There's some triumph in it, having you here, powerless. Ah, what are you doing here? I am creating something new, a new realm, a new home, a new center of operations. Is it not a lovely place for it? You're draining the realm of power. You're draining of its very nature. How long do you think Valheim will survive? How long before the woods and the winds change? Sacrifices must be made, Magic. And do not worry yourself about it. You would not be here for it. Tell me, how is it being ordinary? Then she flips Ileana around and just like throws her off the balcony. Saturn 9 would never admit it, but Magic has a point. The only way, poor Ileana's like, "Aye." The only way to save Vanaheim from destruction is to lock the power source lurking deep below them. And for that, she needs Curse. And Curse is now doubting, or now questioning about, like, are my friends looking for me? And you're like crying, like, oh, don't lie to me. And Saturn 9's just doing Saturn 9, like, fifth dimension chess. And Curse is like, no, no more lies. Show the world who you are, she says in her curse power. On Curse's words, shields fall, charms fail, which is awkward as fall and fail. Like, it looks cool, but if you don't pay attention to that dot, You would think it's fall twice. Lies and disguises crumble until there is nothing left but truth. What do you do? Moments before. As she falls to her death, Magic tries to remember a moment in time, a memory she has worked hard to forget. My little snowflake, there are so many kinds of powers, yet you reach for the obvious. I don't know why I did a Colossus voice, but it was actually Bolesco. You reach for the magic in the wind and earth. You try to summon chaos, and we see young Ileana. I can't do it, Belasco. It burns. Well, yes, but it's the only way. There is magic in despair. There is magic in words that have hurt more than blades, in the echoes of screams of pain and fallen tears and cold sweat. There is power in the misery of the world. Use it. She remembers. Her eyes go from the very stylish white eyes to dark black eyes. To be concluded. And other titles, Alpha Flight 3, Dark X-Men 3, which was pretty fun. Jean Grey 3, which was full of Madeline Pryor, so always good. Miss Marvel, the New Mutant 3, that had Kate Pride on an image, computer monitor. Realm of X3, X-Men 28 comes out this week, so I'm looking forward to that. X-Men Red 17, Uncanny Spider-Man 3, so these must be future weeks. X-Force 46, Astonishing Iceman 4, Trinity Vault 4, Dark X-Men 4 that I'm looking forward to, and Jean Grey 4 by Louise Simonson. And that, everyone, was Realm of X 3, so Ileana's showing up. I was right in my guess at who because the end of issue 2, Ileana senses a voice from her past, which I was like, well, that can only be Belasco. Like, who else would it be? Sim, I guess. So Belasco's back, which probably makes sense with Saturnine, because he's more of an elegant villain compared to Sim, who's a brute, like a cunning brute, but a brute nonetheless. So we will review X-Men 28, unless for whatever reason Shadow Kate is not in the title, but she must be. Magneto 4 comes out by J.M. DeMantis, which is also a pretty good series going, with lots of Ileana content. And so then this week, we're going to conclude Loki month. Surprised I don't make that mistake a bunch. It's easier to do verbally than written. So that'll be Uncanny X-Men Annual 9, and then we'll do Excalibur 7 for Inferno month. Not month, just for our Inferno coverage as I piece it all together in my mind. Though I think that's only like 4 more titles too. And then I started like doing 2 episodes a week, but I still, I don't know, my anxiety, I do want to finish the rest of my 41 issue number series, especially before January. Sort of have a hard deadline there. So we don't do it soon. I really gotta knock those out in February. Nope, in December. Gotta slow down here. So that was the issue. Thank you everyone for listening. You can follow me uh, as at Jackal SIII on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Blue Sky. You can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at SNFWM. And if you like to read my thoughts, you can go to shadowandflamewithmagic.com for the blog. And if you would give a like and subscribe, and maybe ask a friend to subscribe, or at least give a listen. We appreciate that as we try to grow our numbers. And I will talk at you next time. All right, everyone, have a safe Halloween. Bye.